Hey everybody, I'm Joey and today we're making lunch using this leftover steak and something you've never seen on this channel before, noodles, ramen noodles. So follow me and let's turn up the tasty. All right guys, before I even get started, I need to address the elephant in the room. Why do I have leftover steak? I know, it happens occasionally around here. The missus, the kids, or the guests don't eat all the food that was prepared for them. Maybe it happens at your place too, and there's always the question of what to do with the steak the next day. So I want to show you an awesome little lunch recipe that I've used for a lot of years, simply put. The first thing I do is you need to cut the steak. I like to cut it a little thick because we're gonna reheat this, and I'll show you how to do that. The other thing that you'll notice, I mean, you really do need a steak that was cooked to like a medium rare. This is more of a medium. Look, if you ordered your steak well done the night before and you try to reheat it, the very best thing you can do is pour ketchup on it and then throw it in the trash can, okay? Because that is gonna be no bueno. The key here is medium rare, medium steak. And as you can see, it's cut thick. Why do I have ramen noodles here? Well, this is just a simple, cheap meal that we've all had to eat before. I ate it for probably a few years in college before I really learned how to cook, well, better dishes on my own. So we have this cold steak here, and I got some thicker pieces, and then lay those out there. And then I have some of these end pieces, which are just thin. This right here, you're not gonna cook this. This is just snack meat. Look, if you get impatient at lunchtime like I do, this is just a nice thing to snack on while you eat. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is season the steak, because when we cut it like this, we're gonna reheat it. I want a little additional flavor. And that's where the ramen comes in. This is beef flavored ramen. And so actually, I don't like to use this whole package in my ramen noodles. So I'm actually gonna take this, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna use a little bit of what's in here to just go ahead and season that beef. Give it just a little bit stronger flavor. It's mostly salt beef bouillon here. So we're gonna add a little beefier flavor. This is leftover filet mignon, which is a naturally lean cut. We're not gonna need a whole lot, but just go ahead and use about half the packet and season both sides. Again, this is really light seasoning because I do need to have some left over for the noodles. Okay, now the next step is get another piece of snack meat. This is gonna take a few minutes to cook. Now follow me over to this oven where we're gonna get cooking. All right, so before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about my ingredient list. Of course, we have the steak, which I mentioned right here. We have, I don't know, a little less than 2 tablespoons of butter right there. We have some garlic minced. We have some Worcestershire, or however you say it, right there. Some diced chives right here. And we also have 1 scrambled egg. And then our star of the show, the noodles. Weird to say that on this channel. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get one of these sticks of butter in here, one of these pads of butter. And we'll go with the bigger one. We'll just turn that up. And get this hot. Now, this is meant to be a 1-pan dish, and I'll get to it in a moment, but I really like to use a small pan for my ramen noodles. I don't like all that watery broth with my noodles. I really like something that the noodles to absorb all the moisture, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute, but I just wanted to let you know that's why I'm using the small pan. So first, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going, nice and hot. I want to make a quick note that because this stuff has so much sodium in it, you really don't need a lot of new sodium. This is unsalted butter, and I just wanted to point that out. Now, once this gets nice and hot, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that steak in there, and it's only gonna be for about 20 seconds per side. This is, relatively thick slices, but again, you can overcook it really easily. All right, that's enough of that. We're gonna go ahead and pull this steak out right here. As you can see, we got just a little bit of color on it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get it off here. And try to keep as much of the butter in the pan as we can. That's what we want. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is just drop a little bit more of that butter in here right now. Again, unsalted. Let that get nice and hot. Next, oh, I guess on my ingredient list, I forgot to mention water. We will need water to cook the noodles, but while that's getting nice and hot, it's actually almost getting a little too hot. I'm gonna drop that down. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with these chives in there a little bit, and that minced garlic. All right, now that we got that toasted up, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw in this noodle packet right here, just like so. Let it give that butter a second to cool down. And I'm also gonna add some water, but I really only like to fill it up to about the top of the noodle. So we don't have a lot of water in there. Actually, it's not quite to the top of the noodle in this. We're just gonna let that get nice and hot and cook. And this is gonna take just a few minutes here. All right, so now that I have the water added, the next step is to get in more seasoning in here. Go ahead and drop that in. Come on, you can do it. All right, got that in there. Next, we're just gonna hit it with a little bit of that Worcestershire Zerzer. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. There you go. As you can see, this is really a feel it out, MacGyver type lunch recipe. Let's go ahead and flip those noodles. Let that broth get in there. As that begins to heat, I like to separate these noodles here. Give them some room because we're not using a lot of water here. While this is cooking, perfect opportunity for more snacking. Tastes really good. Guys, I know, look, life isn't always about hot cuisine. Sometimes it's just about what's simple, fast, easy, and using what you already have in the house. Now, why do I have ramen noodles in the house? Well, my kids like them. It does make for a fast lunch. Oh, hey, man overboard. Okay, once these noodles begin to soften up, what I want to do is I really want to get them to try to get them to one side of the pan, let them stack up a little bit. I want to create some space over here with the water without noodles, because this is where I'm going to drop the egg. Now, I know some of you guys like a poached egg in there. I don't really like it. I like this method. I just get those scrambled in there, get them in the boiling water, and then slightly scramble them just on this side over here, and they'll begin to get cooked up. Now again, this is where the snack meat comes in handy. There it is. Looking good now. So now once you get it to like this a little bit of a creamy consistency, I'm just going to go ahead and work it back into the noodles over here. Get it all mixed up. Let those noodles sit down in the water so they can finish cooking. And from here, the key is I'm just going to let all that water evaporate out of there until it gets like a nice sticky, until I can pull this back and I really don't see much water left pooling in there. It's going to take just another minute. So there we go, we're getting close. We're starting to get just that residual little bubble down there at the bottom. Heck, even to speed this process up, I'll just tilt the pan so that way all the water begins to steam off by itself. Usually a little quicker, especially over a gas burner. Look, I like playing with my food while it cooks. It keeps me busy and it prevents me from eating too much of the meat. All right, so now we're getting that sticky burn just like that. Some of that caramelization from the Worcestershire. Now we are done. Hit the off button. Slide it over. And look, we don't have that soupy noodle with the weak broth. This is packed full of flavor. Now we're gonna go ahead and get our steak over here. We're gonna set it up real nice like. And then, I know I didn't mention this in the ingredients section, but we're just gonna go ahead and hit it with some parsley next. Give it a little bit of color. Make it rain up in here. And that's how I do lunch. All right, guys, I just want to cut open this steak so you can get a good look at it. Look, guys, there's still color on that. We got some good richness and some excellent browning, light browning really, on the outside of the steak from the butter. Okay, guys, look, I'm out of snack meat. It's lunchtime and this is piping hot. I can't wait to dig in. If you like this video, you know the drill. Go ahead and give us that big thumbs up like, or even better, subscribe to our channel so you can keep following along as we continue to cook meat made easy. We're putting out a new video every week and have some really exciting content in store here in the second half of 2020. So stay tuned and I'll see you guys next time.